Oh, Shenandoah, I long to see you and hear your rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to see you. Without a way across the wide
MODX 7. Oh man, this is my first new keyboard in 5-6 years or something since I got this, and this wasn't even new. This is a Korg SV1, and I just got it out of the box sitting in the garage. I'm not going to do an unboxing video. This is just a working keyboard player's first take on the new baby Motif. So I got the MODX 7, and I'm just now putting together my upper tier on my stay stand, which is amazing. Well, it should be long enough. I almost went for the 61 key, and I probably should have, but my thinking is that when I don't want to lug both boards around, but I still need sequencing power, and I don't necessarily need the weighted action, then I could just take the Motif with the Motif. See, I'm still doing it. I have an 88 key Motif that's away in storage somewhere, and it's a Motif ES. And that was an aluminum body, it's super heavy. I broke 2 cases with it. The case it's in now, the wheels already come off, and that's not something you wanna gig with. But this guy right here, I'm thinking I could probably just gig with this, and especially look how light this is. This is probably half the weight. I'm sure there's some stats somewhere somebody could look up. I'll size it up for you guys here in a minute just so you guys can see. But it is roughly the same length as the SV1. SV1 is 73 keys. This is, I think I said 76. Ooh, I like that matte on the blacks. Man, that looks nice. It reminds me of Yamaha pianos. They've got that sort of matted black keys. So there you go. Almost exactly the same size. If we came over to the edge here, you could pretty much see. So here's the nutty thing. I don't have a DI box or a pair of them because I run everything stereo. Hell, I even insist that the sound guys, whenever we go to a venue, that they're running stereo. My RM32AI from Presonus, I didn't get the RM32AI with the combo jacks. What I got was the original one with just XLR in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the outs out of the Yamaha 1/4 inches into the SV1, and then run my SV1 with the XLR outs, which is what I always do anyway, just because I like the outputs from the XLRs better than the 1/4 inch outs. So I'm not running both boards in parallel. I'm running one board into this and then into the other board in sequence.
Looking in my mirror, took me by surprise. I can't help but see you.
So, man, this is a frustration right here. I can't believe that Yamaha's done this. There's no, standard computer cable for the power, computer power. They've got the wall wart thing. This is just not gonna last. It's not gonna hold up. I mean, it's one of the dinky cords. The reason I got into Motif was, I went to Berkeley College of Music, and I don't remember my piano teacher's name, but I do remember he was sponsored by Yamaha, and we had probably a 3-week course, intensive course on the ES. I got sold on Motif then, and that was 2002, and I've been pretty much a user since until I found the SV1. I bought this without even reading much about it. I was like, oh, a new Motif, I gotta get it, and I don't know if this would have stopped me from buying it, but I'm sure there are probably logical reasons. I might even come to love it later. So go ahead and this guy on. Actually, probably should do the other one first. It's been a while since I've run 2 keyboards like this. Here's the crazy thing, most keyboards I feel like are the power's over there. Well, Yamaha's over here, and I think the switch is probably still over there though. Is this it? No, it's right here. Okay. Note to self, don't be doing that on stage. Trying to figure out where the chord is. Alright, so MODX, nice little graphic. Alright, got some audio here. Alright, so let's see what we got. It says CFX. Most of the time, the first time you turn on a Yamaha, it is their C1 or C7? That feels like a Corvette. Their grand piano. Let's see what we got. Okay. Volume would be helpful. Yep, there's their CFX. There, yeah. So it is their piano with something else layered, I think. That's what it says. But all I hear is a piano. Alright, so here to make sure these volumes are the same, and we'll go play. Yeah, so that's full volume on here. That's probably not a good idea. But that's what makes my levels the same. If I turn this guy up, so that's, nope, it does not affect. That is just line. So line goes straight through. So what I can do then, keep that guy about 70. And bring my volume down too. Now I've got both my pedals. I've got both the sustain and my modulating pedal hooked into the MODX. Although on the I would probably do it the other way around. Primary board, both pedals going into my main board. But I want to play with this. Here's what I love out of the box. Okay, so I skipped all the basic piano and EP stuff because honestly, it's gonna be hard for you to beat the. And I'm not going to give you audio off the board. I'm sorry. I just don't feel like recording it either. So you're going to deal with it. You're going to hear 1,000 other review videos doing this. But this, I don't need to replicate in the motif. What I love, man, the organ, where this thing just absolutely blows. This thing really excels. This organ, that Leslie sounds right. Slows down correctly, it pans correctly. So I like that. It pans correctly. Well, to be fair, Yamaha's always seemed to got that right enough for live performance. The Leslie's always felt really, really good. Next thing that I really liked was the leads. The leads are modern. That was the problem with, I think, the last motif. I mean, when I got it, it was still, it may have already been out for a couple of years. It was already dated by that time, you know? Or a pad. Pads were even worse. I mean, you sound like you came straight out of the 80s out of those pads. But this one, that's the first one. I think that there are a couple more modern ones in here that sound a little bit cooler. And I'm not really I'm not a modern player, hence the stage vintage. But yeah, that's just a portamento. It says FM, but I think maybe the filter's down because it sounds a little bit more squarish to me. Yeah, no. Oh, there's the FM. So there was the filter. This knob is really cool, man. I love it. So it sounds like a square wave, but you pull all the harmonics out. It definitely sounds a lot more FM-ish. Oh yeah. you're down with the original the hard keys, they're at the bottom of the screen for the motifs. This is actually, I have no idea. Maybe they've done this already for the last 10 generations of the keyboard. I'm skipping a lot here, but all these F keys that were down here are still down here. So navigation seems pretty similar. I just miss having all the extra buttons to go directly to my setup over here, because I found that trying to hunting and pecking, maybe I need to adjust over here. Yeah, it doesn't seem to recognize my fingerprint exactly. It's over some, so maybe I need to go fiddle with that some. But I think every keyboard player needs to have session horns. That whole plug-in suite is really, really nice. Now, this isn't quite as deep, at least I don't think it is, but that's been updated. Come on, fall. Oh, wait, that's not the falls. I got another one. Oh man. Here's how I primarily used to use the old one, and why I got this one was, I don't know why, but keyboard players are always told, hey, you got to cover this part, this part, this part. Why? We're the busy ones. We're the ones charting out everything so everybody else knows where they're going. We're the ones carrying, well, not the most amount of equipment, except for the drummer does carry a lot of stuff. But I swear, bass players don't do anything. What is wrong with you guys? Guitar players don't do anything. Yeah, you play your guitar part, but who says it has to be the keyboard player to cover all the horn parts, to cover everything, all the synth stuff? You know what? I used to run in a band where, it was actually off my old motif. I had MIDI outs to everything. So whenever I changed to the next song, the lights would change, the fog machine would change, but everything would change. Even the bass player's patch would change. Who was it on to program all that stuff? Not only did I have to learn the songs, learn to play the damn instrument, which is more than one note at a time, bass players, I had to learn to program everything. Oh, sorry, rant over. So that was the reason for me getting this board, because band I'm in we're doing some old school stuff, some Sly and the Family Stone. And there's some horn parts that you got to drop in every once in a while. And while I would normally just say, that's comping, I'm not going to bother covering it, because people don't really recognize when it's not there, especially in a live performance situation, in a situation where you're trying to get the people up and dancing, and they're not there listening like at a jazz show where they're listening to every intricate note and they're wanting to hear cliches, and for you to nail that lick that Miles did, maybe even do some permutations of it so they can laugh on the inside or say that they got the joke. No, you're just trying to get them up and dancing. They don't care if this hit is exactly right. And it's never going to sound exactly right anyway, because it was real horns doing it. But they want to do it, so here I am doing it. So this is a way I'm hoping we can get this done, is have a click running in aux outs, with the click going to the drummer. Whenever we get to a section, and we don't have hard buttons for this, you did in the old motif, is I would just run section 1, or A rather, with just 4 bars of just the click. And whenever we got to the section where the horns were, then that phrase is I would click that over the measure before that phrase started, so it would go section B, and then back off of it like that. So I actually never even had to touch this guy. I'd just be playing here and have to go whoop right there. Why do it that way instead of just letting the song play out? Is because the intro might be longer. The drummer might want to do a little extra fill here this time through, so that it covers up that part. It gives you flexibility. So recording in 4 or 8 bar phrases with individual sections is the way to get that done. Now I got to pull out all the YouTube videos and this big old booklet of stuff over here of instructions and figure out how to use this guy, because I don't get a class on this one. Yeah, so I told you I wasn't going to give you any audio off the board, but here we are. The reason is because this old cheapy 58 knockoff that I got with my first Fostex 4-track. This thing came with it back in 1998, and I still have it, and it sounds like lots of poop. But the cool thing about it, it has a 1/4-inch out, and I'm running that into the Yamaha, which is of course still in series, to the Korg, which is now going into the RM32. The reverb you're hearing is not from post, but it is live in the board. It's a little tinny, but for live purposes, I think it'll do. I could take it off, but I got to go through 10 different menus, I think, to get it, because this is not the primary instrument. The cool thing is, so I've got this set up in live. So live, you have a big red live button right here. It's not quite in the shot, but then I can select, and you can see, might be able to see here, I might get a pan over here in a second, but you can see I've got 2 performances already set up. Band I'm working with, we're doing 24 Karat Magic and Tennessee Whiskey. So this is for the background box on Tennessee Whiskey, and I've got my organ set up, which still sounds pretty dang good. Is that peaky? Nope, not peaky. Okay, that might also, the mix is a little off, I need to raise the vocals. But I've got my volume pedal down here, so volume still affects the primary instrument, but not my vocals. But to vocode without a computer, to be able to get up on stage and do this.
I just wanna take you higher. Throw your hands up in the sky. Let's set this party alright.
Until next time. Oh yeah, check out this old ass video of my arrangement of Chameleon using the sequence feature with the old motif. I think I'm using an Alesis Ion as my synth. It's been on YouTube for 15 years or something. Anyways, it's got like 6 views. Give it 2 more.